invite Mr. Satya Bhushan, who's the Senior Manager Market Development, Asia South Packaging at BOROUGE. Mr. Satya Bhushan is Senior Manager Market Development, Asia South Packaging at BOROUGE. He's responsible for the market development activities for the packaging business in East India and Bangladesh regions. Mr. Satya has nearly 18 years of experience in the petrochemical industry. Prior to joining BOROUGE in 2014, Mr. Satya served in various roles in sales, marketing, technical services, quality assurance, and operations. He is a chemical engineer specializing in polymer technology from Harcourt Butler Technical University, Kanpur, India, and also has a diploma in business management from Wellinkar Institute in Mumbai. Over to you, Mr. Satya.
Okay. Hi. I hope I am audible. Thank you so much for the wonderful introduction.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, great. Let me. Are you able to see my slides?
Yes, sir, I'm able to see the slide. Yes, sir.
Fair enough. So first of all, thanks for the introduction and thanks for the invitation. We are here from BOROUGE, and I would say in next 20 minutes, I would like to share my thoughts on what is happening in industry, basically recent development in the industry practices, and what BOROUGE is offering. Basically, BOROUGE is offering for sustainable solutions. So that I will try to cover in next 20 minutes. Please keep means I would say in Hindi, jagte raho, be awake, because this is the last presentation. So that's my responsibility to make you, I would say, engaged in this session. Thank you so much. Now, sorry, it got hang somewhere. Okay. Let me introduce first who we are. Basically, BOROUGE, you must be knowing, we are a joint venture of ADNOC, Abu Dhabi National Oil, and Borealis. We have our manufacturing facilities in UAE, and this is, I would say, one of the world's largest single-site petrochemical complex. And we are servicing, unable to speak, okay. We are operating in Asia Pacific market, Middle East, Africa, and Indian subcontinent. At present, BOROUGE, we are 4.5 million ton company, and we are growing basically step by step. I think so we will add another 2 million capacity within next by 2025 and further expansion by 2030. So these are our expansion plan, and we look forward for the growth for the business basically. Yes, now what we do basically, we provide solutions basically, or I would say innovative packaging solutions with our products, which are value-added products for the packaging, means rigid and flexible. Then in agriculture, I would like to add like drip, mulch, and greenhouse films. Healthcare, mobility means automotives. Then energy means I would say our insulation and sealing solutions for wire and cable. Then in infrastructure, our solutions with HDPE pipe for water and gas transmissions. Now let me connect with the topic basically. This is the sustainable packaging. I would like to add here what are the misconceptions about the sustainable packaging. I think that the first one is like plastic is the worst material. Why should we use? I think that is the negativity in the society about the plastics, and people prefer like glass, paper, and metal over plastics, considering that the sustainable solutions. And we consider packaging is environmentally harmful basically. Why it is? I think so the material which is, as I would say, which is used to, which is the best material basically for the packaging to protect the content of a material itself goes in the waste. So that is the basically concern for plastic material. It protects our content, but it itself goes in the waste. I think so we need to look forward. We need to, in next coming slides, I will just brief you how and what is happening here. Now, let's talk about elements of sustainable packaging. Because the topic is sustainable packaging or circular economy. So sustainable packaging, let's consider those elements of sustainable packaging as we are talking about how good a package could be considering a sustainability of its. Now, it is not for plastics. This particular comparison or the, I would say, assessment is not for just for plastic. It is for all the material you could consider, because the first and foremost important requirement or importance of any packaging material is content protection. And as we know, plastic is one of the best. Now, the other things are like leakage into the environment. Yes, we have concern, means how the leakage means, I would say, recyclable, non-recyclable material is there, how it goes in the environment. Yes, with plastics, when we use normal virgin material with different, I would say, traditional solutions, there are plenty of material which leaks out into the environment as a non-sustainable solutions. But yes, there are solutions which gives you like, as an ideal sustainable packaging is like 100% recyclable material, and it doesn't emit anything in the environment except gases. Now we talk about gases, these are greenhouse gases, and I think so greenhouse gases emissions, again, we need to consider taking into account the full cycle across the value chain of the material, either it's glass, paper, because we know for paper how much trees we need to cut, how much water we need to use vis-a-vis when we compare with plastics. The fourth is recyclability and recycled content. We know for plastic how our packaging, basically how the structure, how recyclable it is, basically how much is the recycled content in the package. The next slide here, it is acting on means we have gone through the elements of sustainable packaging. Now how to act on those sustainable aspects. Basically there are four important aspects here considered. One is reduce. We all are aware, because we need to reduce, I would say, size, either with the weight or with thickness, or the content means basically overall the material used in the package for packaging. And we are aware that there are maybe with the requirement by the brand owners, by the societies, by the I would say controls or government regulations, the structures are many of the structures are over-engineered. How do we reduce those structures? How do we make those structures environment friendly? I would say how we could reduce the content, means I would say thickness of weight of the structures. So that is foremost important, and we all are aware, and industry, society is working on that. The other three, like efficient packaging, we all know plastic is a wonderful solution, wonderful material, and it's widely accepted as a efficient packaging. In next slide, I will cover in details. The other two is DFR, design for recycling. I think the plastic, the structure which we talk about today, they have to be means designed for recycling basically. And the fourth is we need to think of to increase renewable and recycled content in the packaging. So these, let me go through one by one. Now, let me give you the example what in BOROUGE we are doing basically for efficient packaging. A packaging could be, means if we talk about plastic packaging in general is a efficient packaging when we vis-a-vis compare with metal, glass, and paper and others. But what in BOROUGE we do, we further improves it. How? I think so there are two important aspects in BOROUGE. Basically, one is our technology, our own polymerization technology, which is Borstar PP polymerization technology. Here I'm just talking about in this particular slide for PP. And then Borstar nucleating technology. This VNT, basically this is the nucleating specialized technology of BOROUGE, where the nucleation happens. I would say there is uniformity, or you could say regularity in the nucleating sites, nucleates, and then I would say faster crystallization. The two, so BNT along with the Borstar technology, what it gives basically when we use the nucleating technology, BNT in our PP products, it gives higher stiffness. And without the specialization with a BNT is that it doesn't compromise on your impact. So when your, I would say, flexural modulus or your modulus is increasing or your stiffness is higher, without compromising your impact, you could reduce your weight, basically thickness or weight of the packaging material. So that's the down gauging basically. Now what happens with Borstar polymerization technology, the flow, basically ease in flow helps us, and the ease in processability helps us to reduce the temperature of processing temperature. So again, this is down gauging. Reducing temperature helps you energy consumption, because if you reduce the temperature of your barrel by say 5 to 10 degree, you are basically reducing the energy consumptions. Now the faster crystallization of BNT helps us to reduce your cooling time. So that is again, you are reducing your cycle time. That is again further helping you to reduce your energy consumptions. And then another one is the fast color change during production, which helps with the BNT. So these four aspects joining together helps for any of the packaging designer, any of the converters to go for efficient packaging, which is very important for sustainable solutions. Just to name here, if I give here, like the first example is premier house beers. We have one such grade, just to name, this is, you might have seen in PP random, there are 15, 20, 10, 12 or 15 MO5 PP randoms. We are making basically 40 MO5 PP random, which gives the flexural closer to 1000, and your impact is basically again similar to other regular random grades. So basically you can make higher size, lower thickness products with those particular packaging solutions. Not to name, we have solutions for almost all the applications for rigid packaging. The second point I would like to cover here is DFR, design packaging for recycling. That is the most important aspect. I think so most of the speakers have covered, and they have spoken about DFR. What we do, but what is happening basically in current industry, if we talk about simple, any of the structure means plastic packaging structure in flexible packaging, you will see this is mostly either PET poly or BOPP poly structures. Now these PET poly or BOPP poly structure, we know these are not recyclable friendly. These are not like 100% recyclable. Yes, we do, but these are not so easy to recycle. Why do we need use that when we have alternate with the recent development in technology? I think so I will thanks to the CI Flexo, where printability, printing on polyethylene based films has been successful, and that is basically, I would say, that has initiated where we could go for full PE laminate structure. And with BOROUGE, with our MDPE solutions, I would say MDPE grades, Gold Star grades. In fact, we have single site MDPE grades itself. What is the advantage of MDPE? MDPE gives you higher stiffness. Now, higher stiffness gives you flatness. When there is a film is flat, I think so the printing is best. Basically, for printing, you need a flat film. So this is how BOROUGE PE solutions help you for full PE film. And we have successfully demonstrated full PE laminates, basically. Similar to the next is full PP laminate. We have here also, in spite of BOPP, the PET polylaminate, or we have developed basically BOPP CPP laminate. Or we have, in fact, those BOPP CPP laminate, again, with BOROUGE, we have a very high stiffness homopolymer for CPP grades, which again helps you to make a stiffer or flat films. The other metallized film, we are working on that. That is, see, these are the industry practices. I'm not just talking about what BOROUGE is doing. I think we are here to know what is happening in the industry. Metallized PE film, full PE laminate, LamiTube. I think so we are aware that LamiTube earlier it was aluminum foil, 300 micron, close to that, which was replaced by EVOH. Now with BOROUGE, the grade here P5600, we have successfully demonstrated or developed PE LamiTube close to 280 or 300 micron, which is their industry practices basically, which is 100% polyethylene based, 100% recyclable. Now, the first speaker has touched about MDO film. MDO film, I think so this is the new generation, basically new development, which is happening in India also across the globe. This is very important to know what is happening in MDO. MDO means basically it is orientation in machine directions. So your polyethylene film is highly oriented or elongates in the machine direction. And once their film is oriented or elongated, means there is orientation, what is happened again, it improves its stiffness. So those MDP films are very high in stiffness, and it can be used as a printed substrate. It gives you better, I would say, strength as well. So MDO is the solution for future solution, even current solution, I would say, for PE laminates. BOPE film is further, I would say, going another one step ahead of MDO, where not only in machine direction, you orient the polyethylene film like BOPP in biaxially, basically, both the direction. The seventh one is very closer to my heart. This is basically surface PE replacing laminate structure. There are many structures. We all are aware that milk pouch, which is used in most of the houses, it's surface printed PE structure only. And there are many other structures which PET poly structures could be replaced in surface printed PE basically. But yes, maybe either for branding, maybe for our limitation of structure defining and all. This is I think slowly moving, but yes, it is still slow. I think that's the one such a step where we could further make 100, I would say, recyclable solutions with surface PE laminate. Now let's go with one of the solution here. I would say one such case we have developed here. This is the simple PET poly structure where 12 micron PET is used and the poly is for sealing. We all are aware about that. Then in the middle layer, we use adhesive or glue basically. What happens? What in BOROUGE we did? We developed 20 micron PE film, which is used as a substrate for printing. And this we have demonstrated, we have developed. Similarly, let's go to next monomaterial. We have full PE solutions with monomaterial for rice bag, full shampoo sachets, which is again with MDO for PP for shampoo sachets, full PP for detergent bar. Here, our one of the special grade is RV707CF, which can be blown upwards in the blown film, MLF film plant, and it can be used or laminated with CPP or BOPP basically. It can be used with the BOPP, so it becomes a 100% PPPP structure. And then we have developed BOPP or CPP structure for food packaging. Now, the next topic I would like to cover, these are the solutions from the change in structures or the traditional structure which we are using right now. The next step here is what the next in the industry. This is the Renewable Solutions. This is, I would say, the new baby in BOROUGE family. We have started commercial, I would say, production of renewables in September 2020. What is renewable? We have many speakers has covered about the renewable, I would say, feedstocks for polyolefins. Yes, it is same as the renewable feedstocks. Polyolefins are made with the renewable feedstocks. These feedstocks are made from the basically oil of, I would say, food crops or waste, or I would say high energy crops like algae and all. So these are the basically feedstocks which are renewable, because currently we are using fossil feedstocks for our regular traditional polyolefins. But yes, in renewables, this is the renewable feedstocks. Now in this, basically you get the same material which you are using right now with the traditional polyolefins. What is specialized, what is here? There you get ISCC certification. This is International Sustainability Carbon and Carbon Certification, where this certification body, basically this is to track at all the level how we are basically, how we about the content or about the whole the cycle basically of the recyclability of the uses of the renewables. Now, what is difference in these renewables? We have these BOROUGE renewables are not a regular traditional renewable, the polyolefins made from the renewable resources. We have, let me brief you here. There are generation 1 resources which are from food crops. We have listened earlier that these renewable feedstocks are from the food crops. As many of the speakers have spoken about the scarcity of foods, basically. In fact, in packaging, we are here to reduce the wastage of the food or the content or the food which we are packing, basically. So the Gen 1 is not a suitable solution. This is not a sustainable solution, basically, which is, again, if you are using food crops, then what is happening to our foods, because we have limited land to agricultural land for our food crops. In BOROUGE, what we are doing, we are using generation 2 oil, basically. And these feedstocks are from waste and residue streams of food crops, wastage of the food crops, or oil wastage, basically, wastage from oil wastage. So these are the hydrogenated vegetable oil, HVO, which we call biodiesel, which are wastage which are generated from the wastage of the food crops or from the waste oil. So these are like 100% sustainable solutions. And this is what BOROUGE is today providing to the industry as a Renewable Solutions. And these Renewable Solutions, these Renewable products are like a regular traditional raw materials, which goes for almost all the applications, your rigid packaging, your flexible packaging, fibers, and all other applications. The other things is recycled polyolefin solutions. These are what BOROUGE is offering. I think the mechanical recycling, many of the speakers have spoken about mechanical recycling. So I will not go in, I would say, step by what is happening in mechanical recycling. But yes, I would like to add what BOROUGE is doing, I would say, differently, or what is specialized from BOROUGE recycled solutions basically. So let me connect here. What is there? One is our recyclate are GRS certified, guaranteed basically. What is these GRS basically? They control almost all the chain of custody. They have a control the chain of custody, and this is a third party certification. So this third party certification basically what they do, they in GRS we have sustainable product processing. Then there is I would say very safe working conditions, traceability across the chain, and yes, all the GRS certified recyclate are having minimum 20% of recycled content. So these are not a regular recyclate. Basically, minimum 20% recyclate content is there, very well defined and third party verified, and this is ISO 14021 certified also. Now, what we do other than GRS in BOROUGE, basically, what we do, we have our own, I would say, because we are a polyolefin manufacturing company, so we have our own innovation centers, as I mentioned in our first slide, our innovation center in Abu Dhabi, where what we do, we basically check, we have a check basically at all the steps, and we send those samples for the IC for evaluation. We survey for those, I would say, we survey for the collections and sustainability across all the steps for the recyclate manufacturing. We evaluate, I would say, detailed evaluation at all the steps, and I would say we go for in-house conversions also before going in the industry with our mechanical recyclates. So this is how I would say we stand apart from other mechanical recycled material which are being offered in the industry. And the first one, which I mentioned, renewable, is I would say the need for the hour. These are the packaging solutions which we have done with our mechanical recycled or our recyclates. We have these are used in collation shrink. Courier bags is very common, but yes, we have developed for collation shrinks also, lamination and non-food caps. As we know, we work basically across all the value chains. So I would say we collaborate across all the value chains. So our technical expertise helps to processors or converters to use or guide for those recyclates in, I would say, what proportion, what ratio, and how the what are the specific performance about those recyclates. So let me summarize what I was trying to cover through my presentation. One, yes, plastic is one of the sustainable solutions for packaging solutions. We should not consider just what is glass, what is paper, because we need to see what is the trade-off between the various sustainable packagings. But then within plastic itself, how the structures are being designed, how the structures are being made, that is very important, because from traditional, I think so that is the need of our, from traditional PET poly or structures, we need to move for PEP or PPPP laminates. In BOROUGE, we have multi-phased approach to act on sustainable solutions, and we have multiple solutions. As I mentioned, one, through our traditional regular virgin materials, where our products or our technology, I would say, deliver in reduction or efficient packaging solutions, where we not only down gauge, we save on energy consumption, and other parameters also. And then product performance is, I would say, not just at par, it is even better in many of the cases. And then these are then we our renewable solutions where we use renewable, I would say, resources which are not from food crops, which are waste food crops and waste oil. And then mechanical recycling, we have our, I would say, a very wide range of solutions through our mechanical recycling recyclates. So that's all from my side. Thank you so much.
Mr. Satya Bhushan, it was great to hear from you, and you touched upon aspects such as sustainable and efficient packaging. And two things I noticed was initially when the start of packaging occurs and you think of it in a, say, a sustainable or a recyclable mode, I think it becomes much more easier for the entire value chain end-to-end solution to come up with a proper solution. So design packaging for recycling, then again, renewable content in packaging is definitely a good solution that the industry can consider. And I think as we are moving forward, packaging is going to be a major thing in the industry. And it's good, that you are, as a company, is definitely working towards it. Good to hear from you, sir. Fine. This brings us to the end of the session, and we'll take Q&A from the audience.